accomplished in his life. The Art of the Deal by Donald J. Trump. I read it so you don't have to. Now, whether you like him or you hate him, you have to give this man respect for all his achievements that he has accomplished throughout his years. Okay? And so for a moment, let's just remove our emotions that are attached towards this personality, right? The person that he is. And let's focus only on what has made him so successful. What are his beliefs? What does his work ethic look like? And how can we apply some of these characteristics in our own lives? Welcome you guys to the most precise, most concise video on Donald J. Trump's personality. It has allowed him to become one of the most vicious, multi-billion-dollar real estate mogul the world has ever seen. And not only has he become the president of the United States once, but twice. Let's delve into it. Someone called the cops and arrest this man. He done beat 2 women for the spot of presidency. Before we get into it, there are 3 things you must understand about super successful, wealthy people. 3 core beliefs that most of these people have in common. The third one will shock you. 1, they think big, okay? Now, we all know that Donald J. Trump's father was already a well-established real estate developer, very wealthy. But you also have to take into account that he was also an immigrant who came from nothing, right? His father began his business, his real estate business, developing homes for the common man. It was after the World War II scandal that was going on. He was taking advantage of a government-funded program that was helping or incentivizing developers to create complexes, homes for the common man. So it wasn't long before Donald Trump joined his father in this journey. Now, there was only one problem with Donald Trump. He had bigger aspirations, okay? He didn't really like the penny pinching mindset his father had. You know, saving $1 there, you know, skimping a penny here to make sure that the building gets constructed, but at the lowest cost possible. Donald Trump didn't like that. He had bigger aspirations. He wanted more. He wanted something with excellence, something with class. So he decided to move away from his father's business and go on his own. He wanted out of the Bronx. He wanted out of that mindset, and he wanted something bigger. So where did he go? Well, he decided to go to Manhattan. The second core belief that most of these successful people have in common is that nothing is ever enough. They are never satisfied. It doesn't matter how much money they earn. It doesn't matter how many accomplishments they make. It doesn't matter where or how far they've gotten. They want more. Always, always more. More work, more effort, more pain, whatever it is, more. Now, the common argument for this for a lot of people is, well, if nothing is ever enough, how are we ever going to be happy? Well, therein lies your problem. You and I, if you're on this channel, you're not looking for happiness. Leave the happiness for the women and children. As a man, you have a duty. You have a duty and you owe it to your family, if you didn't come from a rich family, to create your own rich family. Simple as that. What we are searching for, the common man will most likely never achieve in his lifetime. Why? Because what we're searching for is money, power, and financial freedom. And these things take sacrifices. It costs something that most people are not willing to let go. That is family, that is friends, and that is your love life. You must become obsessed with the idea of working, of enjoying the process, of creating this person that can attract generational wealth. That is the whole point of this. So if you are looking for happiness, you are in the wrong channel. We don't look for happiness over here. Move on to the third one. This one will shock you. And that is the idea that I am better than you. They believe that they are better than you. Now, this is very controversial, and it may trigger a lot of you guys because we've been led to believe that saying these kinds of things, that believing we are better than most people, is a narcissistic trait and that that's wrong. That's not true. Well, to an extent. There is nuance to this. You don't want to walk around being an ass to people. That's not what you're here to do. But you must believe that you are better. And why wouldn't you believe that you are better? You have been given this life, this chance to create something, to be an experience for other people that they can learn from. And for you to wake up and not believe that you are the best or that your life is the best, even if the circumstances don't say that or show that yet, believing this will guide you into working and going through life, working to be that. Now, think about it like this. I don't play video games. I don't like video games. Why? Because they're hella addictive. They're fun. They're great. Who doesn't want to level up a character? Who doesn't want to go and spend these hours, becoming the best player they can be? So there are people out there that if I were to sit down and play a video game with them, you're going to beat me. You are, in that sense, in that hobby, better than me, right? And there are people that are very militant and disciplined who are constantly up at a certain time, constantly putting in the work, constantly never missing. And in that area of life, they are better than me. And it goes the same way. I am more disciplined. I am more hardworking than most. I believe that. I see it. I do it. And that's the mindset you should have. Now, you don't walk around flaunting or talking about it. You show it. And always have humility. Always have humility. You walk into a room, I am better than most. Because I am better than most, I will endure more pain. I will do more work. I will be the sacrificial lamb for most of these people that are suffering because I can take it. I can handle it. And then you serve the next man next to you. That's how you should walk around this life. See these things in Donald J. Trump now. From the way that he speaks and emphasizes his abilities, his creations, his projects. He always has something to say and emphasizes how great he is. Make America great again. I was the best at such and such and such. My economy was the best that America has ever seen. Now he's exaggerating, yes. But in this book, he does explain that although you do these things, you must deliver. Always. You can't scam people. People will see right through your shit. A lot of people are like, man, who is this guy walking into this room thinking he owns this place? Who does he think he is? Well, in his book, he tells you exactly who he thinks he is. If you can read between the lines. He thinks he's a king. Now look, if there's anything you take out of this video, I hope it's just this one thing that can completely change your way of life and the way that you are perceived by most. It's that people do not treat you how you treat them. They treat you how you treat yourself. You don't respect your time, no one's going to respect your time. You don't show up sharp, looking fresh, looking good, feeling good, no one's going to treat you like that. Walk like a king, act like a king, be treated like a king. Simple. Now that we've gotten through the whole core beliefs that must be attained, that you must have in order to understand this, to understand him, to understand successful people and success, we can now delve into the reason why you guys clicked onto this video, which is the key factors that I believe make this man a great businessman, make him a great negotiator, and a straight killer. I mean, he is a straight killer. And that's something you should have in you. No matter what you do, always strive to be the best. Have the fucking balls to do what most won't do and do it boldly. Part of the deal. One of the first things that stuck out to me was the fighting back nature of this man. He will fight back whatever claim, whatever suit, whatever goes in his way and fight it to death. He will not fold. Especially if the odds are against you, you must fight back. And you can see this even now in the way that he has ran his campaign, has gone through all these tribulations, all these lawsuits, all these supposed claims of felonies and sexual assault or whatever the case may be. He will fight that back. He will not fold. Now, this actually takes it back in the days when he was working with his father. He's always been like this. Back when he was in the business with his father, he was actually dealt a lawsuit against him and his father's corporation or company, claiming that he was discriminating against the colored people, blacks and browns. Now, there was no proof of this. Now, the DOJ, I believe that's what it was, would send undercover to see how businesses ran in the Trump complexes. So after a while, they've come to the conclusion that Donald Trump and his father were being discriminatory against certain types of people. Now, Donald Trump didn't like that. So they filed a lawsuit back towards the DOJ, claiming this is false and we want $100 million for this nonsense. Really? Of course, the DOJ dismissed that. The courts dismissed that. They're like, there's no way. There's no proof that you aren't doing that. And we have all these things stacked up against you. In the end, he ended up losing that lawsuit. But since the moment that paper hit his desk, He's like, I'm not taking this. There's no way. And although he did fail that lawsuit, he didn't admit to no guilt. He struck a deal and said, okay, I'll pay whatever has to be paid. I'll do what has to be done. But there was going to be no mention of me doing this discrimination because it's not true. Whether that's true or not, who knows? We're only here to find out how he thinks, okay? Or that you can take in any aspect of your life, right? Of course, if you're not in the wrong. Donald Trump is very well known to exaggerate things, to lie about things, and we all know this, okay? But the whole point of fighting back is that it's showing resilience and it's showing that you're not going to take what people give you at face value and just let it happen. That's not going to happen. You will always fight back, even if it costs you millions of dollars, even if it's costing you time, even if it's stressing you out. In the wise words of the Joker, remember this quote. He said, it's not about the money. It's about the message. The minute you fold, you will forever be known as a person who folds under pressure. And it's like things like these multiply. Don't ever be that. Don't ever do that. Ladies and gentlemen, have the balls to ask for what you want and ask it boldly. Sometimes we feel like we have to lower our price or we have to ask for a price that seems reasonable. And we kind of hinder our own progress, hinder our own reward towards this deal by doing so. Don't do that. Ask big. And if you're buying something, lower that price. Be bold. And when you're doing things like this, you also have to understand that whatever this deal is, whatever you guys have agreed upon, you must emphasize your abilities at all costs. Make sure you are the best, the most concise, the most loved, whatever. Always emphasize, I work harder than anybody else. I am more consistent than anybody else. I'm more reliable than anybody else. But remember what I said before. When you do these things, you must always deliver. Always. So this takes some kind of confidence in yourself that most of us don't have. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. How could you trust yourself if you don't have your own life in order? If you yourself tell yourself, I'm not going to eat that donut because I'm losing weight or I'm trying to lose weight, and you secretly eat that donut, your own mind in the future is going to be like, I don't believe you, bro. You're not going to believe yourself. I'm going to go do that and achieve this in life. No, you're not. You ate that donut. No, you're not. You said you were going to work out today and you did it. You told your wife that you were going to be faithful, that you were going to do this, that you were going to do that. But it's 3 months down the line and you're still doing the same thing. You don't believe yourself because you don't stick to your own word. So of course you have no confidence. How could you? Be honest. You can't. So this starts off with yourself. Again, all of these principles can be applied in your life, should be applied in your life. You are the business. You are. All this that's functioning is your business. Feed it correctly. Feed it with food. You feed it with training. You feed it with knowledge. Okay, you take care of it. Because this, plus your characteristics and who you are, is what's going to attract the things in your life that you want, that you desire. It's important. Don't ever forget that. You can lie to everybody else. Just don't lie to yourself. Generate interest and excitement. Okay? People don't like boring. And what is boring? Reality is boring. Believe it or not, success is boring. We all see these famous people or people that get super rich and we think it happens overnight. Okay? And they make it seem like that, as they should. It's a law of power. I might bring up that book sometime in the future. You have to generate excitement, intrigue people, sell them a fantasy. People want a fantasy. Reality is boring. Everything's about habits and constantly doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's boring. People don't like that. So you have to find a way to make everything seem like it's a fantasy, like it's a dream. And then work your ass off to make that dream a reality. Great one that I saw that helps a lot with the way that you think. And this one can truly be applied to your own thought processes. Okay? And that is reframing negative questions into something positive. Okay? Most of us live our lives constantly thinking of things that are negative. Things that hinder our spiritual growth, that hinder our well-being, and hinder our mental clarity. Some of us, we don't even see this. We're subconsciously running this negative narrative about ourselves, about other people, about the world, about the things that you were doing. And that takes energy. That takes a lot of energy. You may not notice this, but it takes a lot of energy. You ever seen those people that walk around with a face like this, or they're hunched like this, and they're always tired? And then when they speak, it's always something negative about somebody or something. And it seems like they hate their lives. Well, these people are so stuck in their own mind because of their own experiences that were perceived wrong. First of all, let's get that clear. They perceived an experience wrong, the negative way, and stuck with that story. And so they move across life believing these things, acting in accordance to these things. And they don't know why they're sad, or they don't know why they're always tired, or why they have no spark in life. You're draining yourself. Now, the reframing of a question to something positive, right? What does that mean? Well, I'm quoting very loosely this, okay? Very, very loosely, extremely loosely. Extremely loose, all right? So don't hang me over this. But he was asked by a reporter something along the lines of, here, I even got it right here. Quote, do you think it's unfair that you are building a luxurious building in an area where the common man can't possibly afford to step foot into it? Now, end quote. Now, Donald Trump responded, I believe this city and the people of this city deserve such a beautiful building. Notice how he just changed the whole aspect of this. From something negative, oh, but people can't afford it, to, but people deserve it. How beautiful does that sound? Now, he does this with almost anything. You watch any of his interviews, he's very quick to take control of that conversation and switch directions when it comes to questions like this. Now, most people may think that this is diverting or going around this question that was given, but it's true. Why do we want to focus on something negative? That's not progressive. It's not. You're only hindering, again, yourself. There's no point. He's a master at this. It's beautiful. And training yourself to be able to do things like this is a big, big mind shift. And it takes a lot of humility and self-reflection and understanding that when you look at life in a negative manner, life is not negative. You have these lenses that you were put on, both eyes, since you were a child or whatever, because of your experiences, and you're viewing the world through these lenses. Take them off. Look at things objectively for your own health, for your own well-being, and for the well-being of others. Never seem desperate. Another great one. Now, you should always, when striking a deal or even having a conversation with somebody, selling yourself or a product, always use leverage. Try to find what your prospects' wants and needs are. And that's where you want to pinpoint where you come in and you help them with that problem. That's the goal, right? It's cool to find out what they need, but it's even better to find out what this person can't live without. Now they need you. Now they can't live without you. Moving on to the next one is you protect the downside. The upside will take care of itself. What does that even mean? Well, you should always anticipate the worst. Now, this may be a little contradictory to my last couple of, factors that I was stating about being positive all the time. This doesn't mean that you're negative and you're going to, drown yourself with these negative thoughts that everything's going to go wrong and you're just going to get stuck in analysis paralysis and just not move. That's not what this means. What this means is that you should always plan for the worst. You don't want to be naive. Although life may not be negative, there are negative things that happen in life that we perceive as negative. It's a whole nother video for this because you will soon find out the more you grow as a person and as an individual and spiritually, you'll realize there's no such thing as a bad thing or a good thing. It's all perspective. We'll get into that sometime in the future. So always plan ahead. Always plan for the worst case scenario and think in your mind, if this were to happen, would I be okay? Would I live? Would I still be able to move forward and just adjust my plan? Yes? Then go for it. With boldness, authority, and excitement. Don't forget the excitement. Next one that I seem to really gravitate towards is his aggression towards anything that he does. When he is selling something, he pushes high. He aims high and pushes harder and harder and harder and harder on that. Same thing goes with the other side, which is when he's trying to buy something, he always shoots low, right? And then decreases. Now, this is very hard to do because this takes confrontation with a person. Most of you are not able to confront people because either you have no self-esteem or you believe you're not worthy of what you're asking for. An interesting part of this book that really stood out to me, that I've never looked at life like this, because I was that person where I feel like I have to people please and I get desperate. I'm like, $20. Okay, fine. I'll do 22 or 20. I go up, right? Or I'm too shy or too scared to ask for a price that I want. But what really struck me in this book was that he was going to buy, I don't know if it was Mar-a-Lago. I don't know if it was Mar-a-Lago or another building that he was buying, but it had went up for sale and he had bid $15 million on this building. About $5 million below asking price. Of course he was denied, right? You must be crazy. And he was denied. And for years it went on like this, where the people that were selling this building were very firm on the price, were not gonna go any lower than that. And every time another deal from another bidder would fall off, Donald Trump would come back and bid again. But this time he would bid lower. Phenomenal. It went on like this for years. And you'd think this is backwards. Like, okay, I mean, why would you bid lower? I mean, at least keep it the same, right? I don't know what his mentality is, but I like it. I'm doing that. Anyways, years passed by. The people that managed this building had a new change of management. It was losing money. They needed money quick. And so it fell into the hands of another person who was just going to sell that building because they need to keep the business afloat. And Donald Trump showed up and he bidded $3 million. My man. This shows a lot of things, okay? This shows patience. This shows persistence, resilience, and being firm on business, standing on business. This man paid $3 million for a property that was going for about 20 to 25 million, was denied 15, denied 13, whatever, however low he went. And when time came, boom, $3 million. I mean, the money that he paid wouldn't even cover the furniture that was inside of the building. Like, the furniture was more expensive than the $3 million that he paid. So these are great things. I mean, you may think that this is very loan shark attitude, right? Where they're just taking advantage and being aggressive, but it's not. This is preparation meeting opportunity, right? And persistence throughout. This is beautiful. You got to respect this. I know I do. Now, lastly, guys, this one is one of my favorites. The more unattainable something seems, the more people want. You know what I'm saying? Now, this one I like so much. Why? Well, like almost all of these, you can apply this one to your life as an individual right now. This works for everything. It could work for dating. Now, many of you men, if you guys know or don't know, have noticed that when you give a woman attention and you give her all this love and you're my world and I will do anything for you, you start becoming less valuable to her because you seem to just be at her heel at any point in time. You become secure. And although women say they want security, they really don't. It's not exciting. Remember, generate excitement. It's not exciting. So how can you do this? How can you make yourself more unavailable? Well, respect your time. Sorry, baby, I'm working. Right? Boom. I can't pick up the phone right now. I can't be texting you all the time. I can't be going out and taking you and spending 3 hours with you. It's not about the money. It's about the message, baby. I got things to do. Now, the more you are like this, the more women will see this. And this is a beautiful thing to have because you're a man with purpose and you are driven. You see what I'm saying? So this is a great one. And it goes with products too. Say you got 300 shirts you're trying to sell and you put them all up for $10. Boom, $10, whatever. You think that because it's cheap, people are going to want to buy it, or you're going to be having an easier time selling it. But the truth of the matter is, I had a girlfriend who would systematically just purchase workout clothes as soon as they would drop. And I'm like, a lot of people do this, but I was really stunned. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? The business that they were running was genius. They create 300 shirts. They say it's a limited time. There's only a certain amount. Get in the waiting list or get left behind. When truth be told, they could probably make that shirt per order. The shirts that I was looking at her buy, I looked at they were like pro club material. She was paying like $100 for these fucking shirts. The more unattainable something seems, or scarcity surrounding it, the more people want. Do that to yourself. Self-respect. Work, 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 work. That's all you can do. And the beautiful thing about this is that you're going to be absent in a lot of things. Because being somewhere all the time creates a sense of reliability, which is good for work and stuff like that. But it also brings forth like how common you are. You're constantly there. Like, okay, people always see you. People always talk to you. You always have something to say, whatever. But if you start applying this and start removing yourself from these scenes every once in a while, people are going to start talking about you. Yo, where did this guy go? Yo, did you hear about this guy? Did you hear Angel? Where's the Angel? What is he doing? Yeah, I'll tell you a story this one time. I'm not going to get into full detail because it was a very violent day. Very violent. But I'll just explain the part where it was very intriguing. I had gone out with some coworkers at the time. And they were all drinking. They were all having the time of their lives. About 4 girls and 2 guys. I was one. And they all went upstairs. It was in a house. They all went upstairs drinking, having fun, partying, whatever. And I was more on my phone with my girl at the time. I was arguing back and forth with her, as you do. And I started hearing, the girls ask, hey, where's Angel? What is he doing? Where's Angel? Every like 20 minutes or so, right? They all knew me from work. They all knew how I thought, how I acted. They liked me. And I didn't know that I was doing this at the time, but the fact that I wasn't there, they were asking about me. They wanted me to be there. You hear what I'm saying? My attention then became valuable. My presence became valuable. So when I went up there, of course, they all started, surrounding me, whatever. And it was an okay night until an issue with one of the girls happened. Women, I love you guys, but not all of you. I don't have time for all of you. So this is something that I was doing that I didn't even know I was doing. So cherish that. Respect yourself. Again, this all goes back to self-respect. Guys, that concludes all the important factors that I found in this book to be something that we can all apply, that can be relatable, that we can practice and implement in our lives to make it better, more successful, and overall more enjoyable. Okay? Like I was saying in the beginning, we're not searching for happiness. You will find very quickly that a man's happiness comes through only 2 ways: respect from others, men and women, and your purpose, working towards your purpose. You may not be happy per se while you're doing these things, but if you enjoy the process, if you enjoy the tribulations, you enjoy the lessons you go through, you will find very quickly how happy and proud you are of yourself, of what you've done. Again, leave happiness for women and children. They deserve the world. You have a duty. Those of you who stayed until the end, I actually have something for you guys. Being patient and watching the video in full shows that you have a characteristics that most people don't, which is a great attention span. Okay? Most people can't spend 2-3 minutes on a video. They're on to the next. Another great quality of wealthy people that most of us don't do is how they think about time. Okay? Most people think in days. What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do next week? Most people think in months. Okay, let me plan my months. Make sure that this year comes out great. Good people that make money think in years. Okay, where do I want to see myself in 1 to 2 to 5 years? Wealthy people, okay? Wealthy people think in decades. They plan decades ahead. And that's why they see opportunities you miss. You may see a city that looks like rubbish. It's horrible. Gangs, whatever. Oh, this city's ugly. There shouldn't be anything in here that we should put attention to because it's all going to shit. That's where gentrification comes to a shock to you guys, because the developers that make buildings, that create beautiful cities, they see what's going to happen in 10 years. And how if they apply something or if they create something that can change the direction of how that city is living, then in 10 years, they're going to make a fortune. Right? Where are you going to be in 20 years? What are you going to be doing? Plan to the end. Most people don't. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, these are going to be Strictly business, strictly personal development, and strictly for people that want to better themselves. If you aren't about that, then you're in the wrong channel, brother, sister. I'm sorry to tell you, but we out here growing, glowing, and striving. You guys have a beautiful day. Stay blessed and keep working on yourself. I love you.